Hello, 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 and welcome to the Joy of Connection. And tonight we're going to be talking about the emotion code. I'm sure you're really curious about what that is because I was curious and I was so excited and so interested when I learned more about it that I thought I've got to bring the person on that told me all about it. And her name is Michelle James. But before we get to Michelle, I just wanted to say I'm going to have a little celebration, although it's only with coconut water. But tomorrow will be 2 years of the Joy of Connection. So we're having a birthday. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. Ooh. All right. It looks like I'm celebrating on my own, but hopefully I'll be having a big celebration tomorrow. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for supporting me from when we started out in the city centre live with great people coming and speaking to the beginning of COVID, moving it online. And then from moving it online to a podcast. So thank you, Julie. I appreciate that. Thank you for the congratulations. Thank you, Aura. Hey guys, thank you for checking in and letting me know you're here. That's great. But without any further ado, I'm going to bring on the wonderful Michelle James. So bring her on. Hey, Michelle.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Thank you for having me here. I feel so honoured and privileged.
Oh.
Cheers. Happy birthday.
Cheers, thank you. I love it. I appreciate that.
So well, Michelle, but still.
Yeah, that's right. Nothing like a little bit of water. I've got mine on the side as well. So let's tell the audience a little bit about where you're from and where you live.
Okay, so originally I'm from London, born and bred, as we like to say in London, born and bred. And I'm currently in between two cities. So I live between Florida and the UK, but now I'm residing in Wolverhampton. So I'm a bit of a gypsy and I kind of like to get around. I don't stay one place for too long.
I like that. Tale of two cities. I like that. Moving around. That's lovely. That's lovely. So how did we connect? How did we meet?
Oh, a friend of mine, a business friend of mine, Denise Harris. She, I think she's your partner, isn't she?
And life coach as well.
Right, yeah. So she introduced me to you, and she thought I might be
a good fit.
That's right. Something that might be part of interest to your audience.
Oh yes. I'm so glad that you're here. And tell me, before we get into the emotion code, because I know everyone was dying to know more about it, but tell me, because, the Joy of Connection is about self-love and self-care. And one of the things that I'm really interested in is how we as women we spend a lot of time taking care of everyone else, doing for everyone else, being a people pleaser sometimes, just taking care of everybody but ourselves. And so I know that when you and I talked, you talked about being, guilty of that a little bit yourself. But when you're not taking care of everybody else in the world, what do you do for self-love and self-care?
Well, that's a good question, because it's taken me a long time to actually realize I need to love myself and take care of myself.
Okay.
So like I said, always giving to others, always of service, and I was a social worker. So again, always serving others, always wanting to help. But just recently, really, I've started to take more time out. And I think COVID has actually helped me to slow down a lot. You've got no choice but to slow down, So I think, if you ask my daughter, I think I've done a 360, because we're all like, I'm kind of like this now, on a slow pace.
Yeah.
So, it's the first time I've been living by myself. My daughter finally flew the nest in November. Although we lived in Florida and then she left and came back to the UK. But this is official now, so I'm an empty nester. Okay. So that is self-care for me as well, because now I'm looking after me.
That's right. That's right. I don't
worry about anybody else. So if I want to play my music 24/7, I play my music. If I want to be dancing and doing foolishness, that's what I do. Nobody to say, "Mom, turn it down. Why are you listening to that?" It's about loving on me,
That's lovely.
Taking long baths, having candles out, aromatherapy. That's basically what I've been doing. Just getting to know me more, spending time.
That's really interesting. And it's interesting that you talked about the empty nester or empty nester syndrome, which a lot of people struggle with. Is there anybody in the audience that's an empty nester that can share any of their experiences? Maybe you can give Michelle a tip about being an empty nester. I think I know one or two people I can see on here that may be going through that now. So it's an interesting point, learning how to live by yourself and take care of yourself again, because you sort of started that way, right? And then the father, the husband, and then the children, and you know, on the other end.
I don't think I'm doing a very good job of it though, because I moved into my new house in December.
Okay.
New Year's Eve, fell down the stairs, broke my toes.
No.
And then at the weekend, I fell off of something again. I said, oh, I think I need to have some company. I don't think I can be left on my own. So yeah, it just makes you more aware that you're living on your own.
Yeah.
And now you can't be jumping around and doing all the things that you used to do. Because when I fell down the stairs, I was thinking to myself, hold on a minute. Supposing I couldn't get up, how would anybody find me here?
That's right.
It's made me more aware of my environment and basically put in measures in place just in case anything happens to me. At least my daughter can get to me or somebody can get to me. So that's another tip for self-care, is making sure that there's access and you can reach other people if there's an emergency, you know.
And your loved ones can get to you, or close friends or whatever. Yeah, exactly. I get that. Because I live with my partner, but he's away at the moment. But I've got a whole host of people, you know, in case of, got my number, you know, how to get in the house, because I'm usually not on my own, so I get it. And you're getting some tips. One person in the audience said you need plenty of me time. Love it. Aura said that. And Lainey said she got a dog and she found it so hard, you know, being an empty nester. So she got a dog. So I don't know if you want to get a dog or a cat. You might not want to be the cat lady, but hey.
I am a cat lady, but the thing is, because I live in Florida, so it would be very unfair for me to get a pet. Although I'd love to get a pet, you know, but it's not fair. So I have to go without.
Well, speaking about love, along with love comes emotions, right? I mean, we're all going through a very emotional time right now. COVID is bringing a lot to the forefront. And we're examining ourselves really close, almost under a microscope, you know, how we are, how we were, what we've been doing, what we're going to be doing. And a lot of us are learning to be present and learning to appreciate the now, and not so much about where we're going to be in 5 years, but where are we right now? What am I going to be doing this summer? Am I actually going to be on a holiday? Do I take the vaccine? Do I not take the vaccine? You know, we're really being conscious about that stuff and not so much worried about all the other peripheral things. So tell us a little bit about the emotion code, because I assume that's your passion, right? How did you learn about it? How did you become involved in it? How did you become the emotions facilitator? Please share.
Thank you. So 2017, I lost my mother. Very quick. She had acute myeloid leukemia, and they told us that she didn't have long to live. So in the space of being diagnosed in March, she was gone by July. And at that time, I was out in the States. So I came over, like, as soon as I found out, I came over. So I was caring for her more or less up until her death. But there was a lot of, I like to say I'm sort of adopted, because I was raised by my grandparents, left my mother at 6 months old. So these were my parents. And, you know, I know my birth mother, but all my life, these people have been mum and dad. So my dad passed away 15 years ago, and mum's gone now. So that's my mum. My mum's gone. But then I've got my real mum and extended family. So mum passes away, and now, as what happens when there's a death, there's a rift in the family. And now I'm not worthy of my title to be the daughter anymore. Whereas when I was the one that was caring for her and the only one looking after her, it was fine for me to be the daughter and do those duties. But now that she's gone, and there could be implications, I'm not worthy to be the daughter anymore. So that left me in a very, very insecure place. I didn't know who I was. I say I lost my identity. The reason I say that because family members no longer looked at me as, oh, that's your mum. It's now, you're not family, because she was actually my step grandmother. So now her side of the family is now, oh, I'm no longer a part of the family.
Oh,
Um,
so drama
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah. So my side of the family disowned me as well. So yeah, and I started questioning myself, and I was in a right mess, to be honest with you. I was in a state. So I went back to Florida, and and then I was thinking, I need to do something, because what I'm feeling right now is it's not right. I need to do something for myself to help lift me up out of this. Also, I started questioning, because my mum left me as the executor for a will. And I'm thinking, well, why did she do that? She did that for a reason. She listed me on the will as her daughter. So, and I asked the priest, although I'm not her daughter, does that really matter because I'm one of the executors? And he said, no, if she saw you as her daughter, then you're her daughter. But then that made me think, well, oh, I'm actually Michelle James. My name's Michelle James. My mum, my grandparents were called James. So I am Michelle James. And I was like, they can't take that away from me. So I know who I am. I now know why mum made me executor, because she knew that I didn't really take any BS, and that I was always that person that was always fighting for their rights, you know, consumer rights, whatever rights is, I was that person championing them for them. So then it's like I've got back my inner strength. And so I decided to set up a Facebook group for women, and the group is called SOAR. And the reason why I use that word SOAR, because I could imagine myself, I was down here, downtrodden, and I just had this vision that I wanted to uplift women and let them take off and soar to new heights, you know?
Beautiful. Yeah.
So I thought, right, that's what I'm going to do. So I started my group, and I started a meetup group. So I came back to the UK, and then came back to the mess again, because I was sorting out the probate. And then I thought, I need to go and do some work, because I can see all the mess that I was carrying from childhood, you know, the separation of my mom, not growing up with my siblings, that was still tearing at me as well. Long story short, I booked into a 5-day retreat in Spain. I found the lady via Google, basically said to her, I need healing. And she said, well, what is it that you need? I said, I'm not too sure, but I've got a lot of inner turmoil, which I need to release and to set me free. Maybe I need some inner child work. So she said, look, when you come, once I do the breakthrough with you, then I will be able to see what it is exactly that you need. Well, I was there for 5 days. By the time she finished with me, my head was on fire. I've never cried so much in my life. I had like the most intense migraine, you know? My head was like this. I spent a whole day, like, it's supposed to be a couple of hours. I spent the whole day like reeling off my whole life story. She didn't even know where to start. But at the end of it, I just felt so relieved. I felt so free. I just felt like I had a new lease of life within me.
Yeah.
The work that she did, it helped me to actually understand and put an understanding on a subconscious level as to why my mum didn't raise me, why certain things had happened along the line. And so I said to myself, I want to do this. This is what I need to do, because I'm always trying to help people. I used to do a lot of network marketing and multi-level marketing, trying to get people in business because I want to help them to be successful. But I was like, no, actually, it starts from within.
That's right.
And if I can help anybody to release whatever it is that they've got going on inside of them, to me, that's the biggest gift of all. And so then I went off and I did training. I started off doing tapping, which is the emotional freedom technique. If you don't know, you may see people doing all this kind of thing and wondering what's all that about. Yeah. So that's what I did. And that actually helps to release trapped emotions as well. And it works along the meridian points. So along with the EFT, I did a thing called matrix reimprinting, which helps you to go back to childhood and to earlier times where you can release those trapped emotions by rewriting the movie of the scene So, you know, like if there was some trauma or something happened to you that you're still holding on to, you can go back, visit that place and rewrite it. So you rewrite the movie in your head. So you give yourself a totally different narrative. So that narrative that you're giving the subconscious mind will now be the narrative that plays all the time. And it then releases the trauma that you had and the memories, those bad memories that you had towards a certain event.
This is fascinating. This is absolutely fascinating. I don't mean to cut you off, but you said something that I thought was really important, and I really want to go back to it for a minute. When you said that you did inner child work with this lady, can you just explain to the audience what that is? Because some people may not understand what that term is.
Right.
What that entails.
Okay. So when you're doing inner healing work, most of the time, 100% of the time, everything that's happened to us, it stems from our childhood and earlier years. And sometimes things are inherited, and they could be generations upon generations upon generations.
Okay.
And so a lot of the time, you have to go back to the roots. Now, you see adults, they might have a temper tantrum, like you see them just go off all of a sudden, go off in a huff. And you think, well, where did that come from? Basically, what happens is something happened to us in our earlier age, and it left a mark, it left an imprint, a trigger. So at any time that trigger is raised, we then behave in a certain way. And so in order for you to release those stuff, you have to go back to that childhood spot and do that work and nurture the inner child.
Okay.
So you could be missing out on something, even if you missed out on love as a child growing up, you've missed out on maternal love or your father's love. You can actually give yourself that. And you do that by going back within and speaking to yourself as the child. So you're the adult, you've got the adult Michelle, and then you've got the younger Michelle. And so the aim is to give the younger Michelle everything that she didn't have when she was a child.
Wow.
I don't know if you noticed, there's a lot of adults now doing colouring books and stuff like that.
Yes, it's become very popular lately.
Exactly. And it's a way, again, of going back to your youth and just doing things that you enjoyed doing when you were a kid. Because we're still children at heart, we're still children, and not because we're adults, it doesn't mean that you stop doing childlike things. Obviously, having temper tantrums, no, you're not going to do that. But you can still nurture the things that you loved as a child.
Right.
And a lot of the times, I know especially in West Indian culture, they suppress us from doing the things that we wanted to do when we were kids. And so then you grow up with that yearning of maybe you wanted to sing or you wanted to be a dancer. And so, you know, you're not happy within because you didn't achieve the stuff that you wanted to do, what you was passionate about.
Okay.
And you can still do those things for yourself and feed that inner child with the stuff that she was yearning for when she was younger.
Okay. And do you feed that inner child by just having a dialogue, or are you literally hugging yourself? Are you literally kissing it? Like how do you feed?
It's whatever that child needs.
Okay.
So you have to talk to the child in a language that they would understand. So, and you have to seek permission as well, because she may not want to speak to you. You know?
Oh, this is deep.
Yeah. So you're basically doing it on a subconscious level, and you're just speaking to her to find out what it is that she wants, what it is that she needs. Some people do journaling, you know. Some people just sit there, like you said, you just meditate. If it's a hug, yeah, give yourself a hug. Love yourself, you know.
That's why I asked. You know, one of our audience members, Aura, is saying it makes so much sense to go back and nurture our inner child. It really does. Thank you for that comment. It really does. Wow. And there was something else that you mentioned about the Matrix. Tell us a bit more about that, because when I hear Matrix, I think of the movie, right? So right. So it's not the same thing. So please.
Basically, it's so when we finish with the tapping and you get to a certain part, you calm down those emotions. We're going to go back to the episode that it was. So say it was, you're in the playground, somebody called you a name that you didn't like, or they said that you were stupid. Say they said that you were stupid. Say, okay, I've got a good one. The teacher said that you were stupid. You're not going to amount to anything, right? So you grow up all through your years. You can never do anything right because the teacher told you that you're stupid. And then other people come along, your husband, your boyfriend, your mum, your sisters, whatever. You're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid. That label is now stuck with you and you're stupid, right? You believe that you're stupid because everybody's told you that, right? So what we do is we go back to that memory. So we take you back. How far can you go back to? Please go back to the time when that happened. And we take you back to the earliest time that you can remember, right? It's not you remembering it, it's the subconscious that remembers it.
Okay.
And the subconscious might say, oh, when I was 5 and at school, the teacher said I was stupid, I'm not going to amount to anything. So we say, okay, what actually happened? So you replay the scene of what happened. And I say to you, what would you like to have happened? Yeah? And then you say, oh, I wanted the teacher to praise me and maybe give me some gold stars or whatever. So then I say, okay, so now you rewrite that story, go back to that scene, do whatever it is that you did and stop it before she said you were stupid. And now you can put it in that she praised me and I felt good and whatnot, whatnot. So that's just a simple explanation.
Of course.
Of
Gets much deeper.
Yeah.
Wow, the emotions facilitator. Guys, if you've got any questions, please bring them on, because I seem to be asking all the questions. I'm really interested in this. And Michelle, I have another question for you, which may or may not work. But if you've had some trauma that you don't remember, but you know that something traumatic happened in your past, but you can't recall it, maybe because you were really small, or maybe because it was so traumatic, you sort of pushed it away, buried it, didn't want to deal with it. Is that something you can work with somebody on?
Yeah, you can, but there's obviously, there's different modalities. So as I was saying to you that I did the EFT along with the matrix, which we can do that with that as well. But the reason why I like the emotion code, because it's non-intrusive and it's very gentle.
Okay.
And
I like
so
that.
where it differs from the other modalities, like if we were going to work in your situation, in a traumatic situation, using the other modalities, they have to revisit that scene. Now, a lot of the time, the subconscious mind will protect you because it knows it's something that you don't want to deal with. Some people have a traumatic reaction to reliving that event. You don't want to put them back through the trauma again, So, like I said, the reason why I love the emotion code, because I can release those trapped emotions from you. I don't even need to know you don't have to tell me your business. I don't need to know. All I need to know is your name and your age, and then I will work it out.
Wow.
So basically,
can you give us a little sample?
Yes, so how the emotion code works. It was a guy called Bradley Nelson. He invented it. He was
sorry, could you repeat the name again? Bradley
Nelson. Bradley
Okay.
Nelson. He's a chiropractor in the States.
Okay.
And he stumbled across this. He was going through some stuff himself, and he just decided, let me just test this and see if it can work. So basically what he done is he created a chart, and this chart has 60 different emotions on it.
Wow.
So the chart is made up of 2 columns. So you have A or B, and then it's got the 60 emotions down the side, which is broken up into odds and evens. So on this chart, you'd have stuff like abandonment, anxiety, guilt, unsupported, shock, shame, right? So this is the basis, but then there's other charts as well, which other people have now brought in along so that we can go deeper into more emotions. So what Bradley found is that by using the charts and something called muscle testing, now I use my muscle testing, I use a pendulum to get my answers. But some people do muscle testing by doing the sway test. some reason it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I like to tell people to try it. So make sure when you're doing energy work, you have to drink water, because energy flows and you need the water to help the energy to flow. That's right. So basically, when you're doing if you're doing the sway test, you stand up, and first of all, what you need to do, you have to collaborate. So you need to find out, what is my yes, what is my no. So you just stand there and you'd say, what is my yes? And then your body may just slightly go forward.
Yeah.
So what's my no? And it could go backward.
Yeah.
And then you say, is my name Michelle? And if it goes that way, then you know it's a yes. So you know you're good to go. So then you can start asking the questions. Or another one is the ring. I don't know if you can see my fingers.
Got it like this.
Yeah. So then again, you can ask, what is my yes? So if it's stuck, that's a yes. And what's my no? It will release. So it's like, is my name Michelle? It's stuck. Is my name Andrea? It releases. And that's not me doing that. That is actually the subconscious doing that. So your body actually works like a lie detector. And that's how the lie detectors work, because they can pick up on the frequencies inside your body. So I love my pendulum. So my pendulum, when I say, what is my yes? It goes around that way. Is my name Michelle? Is my name Tony? See, that's my no. And that's not me doing that. You might see my hand move, because that's the energy pushing my hand. Okay?
Wow.
Do I live in London? Do I live in Wolverhampton?
Starting to circle. Wow.
Let's see. Do I live in Florida? Let's say no. Did I live in Florida? So it's working on where I am right now. Okay? So that's how that works. So that's the muscle testing part of it. So with the emotion code, I've just got these quickly. So we pray first.
Just so you know, the audience is saying this is a fascinating topic. So this is great. Keep going. Sorry.
We do a prayer first, just to make sure that we're protected and that we're not letting any bad energies come in. I always make sure that I bring my shield up, and I always wear this now, which is an obsidian, just to keep out negative energy.
Which stone is it?
Obsidian.
Obsidian.
Obsidian or tourmaline, one out of the two of them. I think it's
like that, one out of the two of them.
Tourmaline. So what I need to do is I need to ask permission. Okay. So before I can work on anybody, I'd say to you, Michelle, do I have permission to work on you?
Okay.
And you say yes.
Yes. Okay.
Because I cannot work against your will. Make sure that I'm hydrated. So I have to drink the water. And then it depends on what it is. Oh yeah, then I have to ask if I can be proxy for you.
Well, what does that mean?
Proxy means is I can be you. So basically, you've given me permission to do the work, because we're remote, because we're working remotely. And that's the great thing about this, because I don't have to be there with you side by side. So, so for example, I would say, I said, can I work with, is it okay for me to work with Michelle? And then I'll say, can I be proxy for Michelle? So it's saying yes. Am I connected to Michelle? So it says, no, I'm not connected to her.
Okay.
So I can't do anything until I'm connected. So then I'll say, can I be connected to Michelle? Okay. So now I'm going to say, am I connected to Michelle?
Somebody wants to know how they can get hold of you, Michelle. We're going to bring it up in a minute. Don't worry. I know you're going to have a queue of people.
Yeah, so basically now I'm connected to Michelle. So now I've got permission to work with Michelle. So that's proxy. So whatever it is, we've spoken about muscle testing and we've done the chart. Okay. So basically then, if you've got a problem, say you had pain, I'd ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, what, and 10 was the highest, where would you be at with your pain? You say, oh, it's a 10. I'm like, okay, so that's the severity. So then what I would do now, I would say, I would ask now, what's actually causing the pain? What's causing the pain that Michelle's feeling in her right shoulder? Is it on the emotion code chart? It says no. So So then I would ask, is it on the trauma energy? And it's saying yes. I don't even know if you've got a pain in your right shoulder, but we're just.
I actually do.
You do? For real?
Swear to God, right now, do you not see me doing this? It's like,
okay, cool.
what happened?
What's the severity of your pain?
The severity of it, it's probably a 5 or 6. It's not severe. It's just annoying.
All right. Okay, watch this then. Okay. So is it on the trauma energy chart? Is it on the emotion? So it's on the emotion code. Is it in column A or column B? B. Odd row, even. 2, 4. Depression, frustration, indecisive, panic. I've got feelings of panic here. So can I release this now? It says yeah. And normally what I do, I normally ask, what is the age? Because sometimes I need to, because the emotions are trapped in layers. So you could have one. How old are you, Bride?
24.
Okay, 24. Okay. So you could have one at 24 and you could have one at 18. Because you might say, well, panic, but she already cleared panic already. They're different layers, right? So then I'd ask now if I can release it. So I've got a magnet and can use any magnet. And I roll the magnet from the meridian point. So we use the Chinese
meridian
points. Yeah, the meridian point. So I'd roll the magnet from here and down to the back of my neck. And I'll do that 3 times. So I'm releasing, sometimes I do it more than 3. So releasing trapped emotions of panic from Michelle. Then I ask, have I released the trapped emotion? It says, yeah. So then I would continue to ask, are there any other trapped emotions that we can work on today? Is it on the emotion code? Is it in column A, column B? A. Odd, even, 2, 4. I know before it moves. So my daughter says, oh, you never done that one. Because I know when it's going to move. So it's anger, bitterness. So I've got picking up guilt. Can we release guilt? So releasing guilt from Michelle. Okay. Have we released guilt? Okay. Are there any other trapped emotions we can work on today to release the pain right shoulder? Is it on the emotion code? Is it in column A, B, odd, even, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Taken for granted. Can we release this now?
Oh, that's a good one because that is really true.
Okay.
Interesting.
So release that out. Are there any other trapped emotions we can work on? It says no, it won't let me do no more. So you cannot force the subconscious mind. If it doesn't want to do anymore, you have to stop. All right. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just see how that feels now.
Okay, I'm not messing around, but it doesn't feel anything like it was feeling before because I was doing this. Yeah, that's a bit freaky. It's a slight twinge, whereas before it was really starting to get annoying, which is why I was doing this.
Right. So then what I'll do then I have to disconnect from you because I don't want to be you. No.
Cut the cord.
Yeah, can I be disconnected from Michelle? No. Can I be disconnected from Michelle? Am I disconnected from Michelle? Is my name Michelle Lowe? Is my name Michelle James? So now I'm disconnected. Okay?
Wow. I'm clapping for the audience. Wow, that's amazing. No, seriously, this is wow. Yeah,
and you see how it works. So if you've got trauma, I don't need to ask you your business. I don't need to. You could just say to me, oh, I had some bad childhood experiences that I want to release. I will find out what it is.
Could it even be much lighter? That, I'm upset with my best friend. They said something to me and I didn't like it. Could it be on that level? Or does it have to be really deep rooted?
It doesn't have to. It's emotions, whatever emotion you've got, sadness, fear, anger, anything. It's how you feel. Pain. Do it for if you want to lose weight. Anything that you've got in your life.
Now you got a cue. Now you got a cue people if you want to lose weight.
To cut cravings as well, because the reason why we do what we do, it's because it's tied to an emotion.
Absolutely.
Yeah? So, why am I procrastinating? There's got to be a reason. Let's release that emotion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Stuff. This is great stuff. By the way, you're getting a lot of virtual applause here, by the way.
Thank you.
And Aura saying thanks for the demo
Yeah,
for both of us.
you. I'm glad
But,
you enjoyed it.
yeah, Lainey's loving it. Tamara's loving it. Claudia's saying it's amazing. Yeah, you're getting some really good feedback here. But that is really, seriously, that is really amazing. I'm just sort of thinking, okay, I'm just waiting for the Twitch to come back. It's just like, can't be that real, can it?
Just drink your water and it will help to process, and it will just help the energy to flow. Like I said, that's why I love it so much, because it's so easy, and it's non-invasive. The only thing, sometimes I can put, like, I did the session on Saturday on Clubhouse, and this lady had some serious trauma, and it was nearly knocking me for 6. My head started like going like, so
pulling the energy out of you as well.
Yeah, because I'm taking it from you. So I'm getting yours, do you know what I mean? So I can feel it when I'm pulling it out, and sometimes you will feel it too. So when I'm working with people, they say, "Oh, I feel much lighter now. Oh my God, Or some people just start crying, they just burst into tears because you're releasing the trapped emotions. I'm just loosening all those trapped emotions inside of you.
Right, that's right. Someone here is saying everything is energy.
That's
By the
right.
way, one of the audience members wants to know, how many sessions do you need? How many sessions do people normally need to take?
It depends on your issue. Everybody's different. So I'm not going to say it's one session. It depends on what the problem is. If you're coming to me for pain, I could shift it in one session. I may need to do a couple. So it just depends on what it is. No situation is the same, But the reason I love pain, because you can demonstrate pain almost instantly. And I don't say, oh, I'm going to get rid of your pain. I'll reduce it. Some people get rid of it at the same time, and then maybe after another 1 or 2, it's totally gone. Because one thing I do want to say about pain, one thing I want to say about pain is that a lot of the times we're running to the doctor, right? And we're getting prescribed medicine and it still doesn't help. It's not because of the medicine is not going to help you, right? The emotions are trapped inside your body, and it's the emotions that's causing the pain. And when you can get to the root cause of what it is that you're holding on to, a lot of the time that pain goes. Yeah? Because trapped emotions stay in your body and they turn toxic. It's the chemicals that it's breeding. If you've got a lot of hatred, a lot of anger, just imagine what that's doing to you inside when you're all festering up. Yeah. Those chemicals in your body are just there going around and around and churning over and over and over. You wonder why people have stress, heart attacks, strokes, because it's the chemicals that's inside their body. So that's why it's very important to release them.
Yeah, let it go. Let it go.
Let it go.
Worth it.
Exactly.
Wow, this has been fascinating, Michelle. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it. Oh, this is great. This is really, really inspiring. And to know that people do have an alternative, not to go to drugs, as the first resort for any pain. And to know that, as you said, a lot of the time it's much deeper. It's not the surface pain that you're feeling. That pain is deep within and maybe from way beyond.
Don't get me wrong, it's just a disclaimer here, because I don't want to say like, oh, if you cut your finger, that's not the, do you know what I mean? I'm not saying like you cut your finger and you're feeling pain that just by doing it, no, that's different.
Yeah, thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah, but when you've got that, like, for example, I had this pain in my foot when my husband was in the hospice, and then all of a sudden I had this pain in my foot and I couldn't walk, and I was hobbling for about 3 weeks. And I thought, you know what to do. And then my son was saying to me, why don't you do that thing that you're always telling us that we need to have a session with you? And like you said, I'm too busy taking care of everybody else. I forgot that I actually got the tools that I can do it myself. And I did start working on myself, and I realized, you know what? They said I had plantar fascia.
Yeah, plantar fascia. So, doctor, how do you say that anyway?
And I read up on it, and it said a lot of the times the doctors will operate on you and it doesn't get better because it's the emotions that are trapped inside. And then once I thought, yeah, and I started working on it and started to release it. And sometimes I use crystals, and I was using the crystals to help to draw out whatever was there. And then I went for a foot massage, and no word of a lie, you see, the next day I was walking up and down, good.
No issues.
No issues.
No. Well, you know what? I think we're going to have to come back and talk more about the crystals as well, because this is awesome. This is awesome. But we're going to have to start wrapping it up, Michelle. This is so good. Oh, we're going to have to invite you back. So let me ask you, as I ask all of my guests, Stevie Wonder says, love is in need of love today. What do you think the world is in need of, or what do you feel like you're in need of in terms of love? Can you share that with the audience?
I think a lot of the time, compassion is what's missing. Compassion.
Oh.
Yeah. Because we see people on the surface, but we don't take the time to really understand what's going on deep within. And I think a lot of us could learn by showing a bit more compassion. And it's not always what you see. Don't judge the book by the cover.
That's really poignant, actually, really poignant. I think I mentioned that the other day on a post in my group, The Joy of Connection, that, reach out to a friend. Sometimes somebody's going through something, but because they're always happy and jolly, you're just assuming they're great. And then you might actually reach out and learn something that, wow, some stuff was going on, but you didn't know, and just being kind and asking and helping people out. You'll be surprised what you'll learn. So compassion is a really beautiful thing. Oh my goodness, Michelle, this has been awesome. Awesome.
I've enjoyed myself here, actually.
It's been great. It's been great. So as we wrap it up now, what one thing would you like to impart with the audience during these challenging times?
I think you've kind of said it. You have to take care of yourself, but also just remember you have to look out for others as well, because you just don't know what they're going through. And more so now, they're saying, here today, gone tomorrow. Speak to your friend last week, and now they're not here. And it's happening more and more. The amount of people that, even in these past 2 months since Christmas, that I personally know that are not here no more. My thing is, sometimes, you might think about somebody and you think, oh, I'm going to ring that person, and you don't get around to doing it. They popped into your mind for a reason. So don't leave it too late, That's
beautiful. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. The emotions facilitator, not the, but the emotions facilitator. Listen, I know you're doing, sorry?
I said the one and only.
The one and only, absolutely. You coined it, you owned it. I love it. Take it, run with it. I think that, as the guest is saying, it's been fascinating. And she wants that treatment like yesterday. Lady will hook you up. I think the producer had your stuff going by. Can you just bring up her website again and her details, Ade?
If they've got Instagram, they can find you on Instagram. So that's where they must be. If they drop the best one on Instagram, yeah.
So you can't miss her, the emotions facilitator on Instagram, on Facebook, on a website. She is the emotions facilitator. Thank you so much, Michelle. I think that you're doing great work, and we're in a time where the things that we do, coaching, facilitating, dealing with emotions, dealing with all sorts of things, needing spiritual guidance, all of this is, the time is now, the time is right. And I think you're a wonderful human being. You're a beautiful woman inside and out, and you're just doing God's work on earth, I think. That's all I can say.
Thank you for having me here. I've really enjoyed myself and really appreciate it.
Really, I've got chills, honestly. It's been a pleasure, honestly. It's been really, really fabulous and so informative. Wow. Thank you so much for joining the Joy of Connection. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, my love. So, guys, how awesome was that? Oh, I'm going to put it in the chat, in the group, so that you can reach her. She's amazing. She'll have any conversation with you and be ready to help you. I don't know what she charges. I didn't even ask, but I don't think there's any price that's too much based on what she's just shown us tonight. Again, everyone, thank you for joining us. Happy birthday to me, Joy of Connection, for tomorrow. It's been great. It's been real. But as I always say, be joyful, be connected, and shine your light. Good night, everyone.